How long do short people live? The question seems simple, but the answer reaches into biology, culture, and even history. Height is not just a matter of how tall someone stands in a crowd. It reflects genetics, nutrition, and the story of health across a lifetime. And when it comes to longevity, shorter bodies often carry surprising advantages. Researchers have studied height and lifespan for decades, and the findings are consistent. On average, shorter people often live longer than their taller peers. The reasons begin in the biology of cells. Every person's body contains DNA strands capped with tiny protective ends called telomeres. These telomeres shorten as we age, and the rate at which they shorten influences how quickly our bodies decline. Studies suggest that taller individuals may experience faster telomere shortening because their bodies must maintain more cells. Shorter people, with fewer cells to replicate and repair, may see slower wear on their genetic material, giving them extra years. Another factor lies in the heart. A smaller body puts less strain on the cardiovascular system. Taller bodies require the heart to pump blood farther through longer vessels, and over decades, this can increase wear on the system. Shorter individuals often show lower rates of certain heart conditions and sometimes survive cardiac events better than taller ones. In populations studied across the globe, shorter stature has been linked to reduced risk of stroke and heart failure, two of the biggest threats to longevity. Metabolism also plays a role. Shorter bodies generally need fewer calories to function, and calorie intake over a lifetime has a direct effect on health and aging. Scientists have found that animals with smaller frames and lower calorie needs often live longer. In humans, the same principle seems to apply. Smaller bodies mean less metabolic stress, which can lead to slower aging. History shows striking examples of this connection. Many of the longest-lived populations in the world, the Okinawans of Japan, the Sardinians of Italy, and communities in parts of Central America, tend to be shorter on average than people in other regions. Their longevity is not explained by height alone, of course. Diet, community, and lifestyle matter, but their smaller stature appears to support longer lives. However, being shorter is not a guarantee of longevity. Health depends on many factors: diet, exercise, access to medical care, mental resilience, and genetics beyond height. A short person who smokes, avoids physical activity, or develops chronic illness may not live as long as a taller peer who maintains excellent health habits. Still, when comparing across populations, shorter stature often tilts the odds toward a longer life. There are also cultural dimensions to this story. In many societies, tallness is celebrated as a sign of strength, attractiveness, or success. Yet, longevity research reminds us that lifespan is not about looking powerful in the present, but about sustaining health in the long run. The quiet advantage of being shorter is not as visible, but it shows itself in the extra years added at the far end of life. There is even evidence that certain genes directly link short stature with extended lifespan. The FOXO3 gene, often called a longevity gene, is more commonly expressed in shorter individuals. People with this genetic variant show stronger resistance to age-related diseases, and their bodies age more slowly. This connection strengthens the argument that shorter stature is more than coincidence when it comes to living longer. It is written into biology itself. On the other side, taller people sometimes benefit from reduced risk of certain illnesses, such as some types of respiratory disease and blood clots. They may also enjoy social and economic advantages that can indirectly support health. But these benefits do not outweigh the biological tendencies toward quicker aging. Tall bodies may shine early, but shorter ones often endure. So how long do short people live? Statistically, shorter individuals can expect to live 2 to 5 years longer on average than taller peers, depending on other health and lifestyle factors. In extreme cases, the difference can be even greater, especially in communities where small stature pairs with healthy traditions of diet and activity. What this really means is that height is only one part of the puzzle. A short person may carry an edge in longevity, but without nurturing the body through good habits, the advantage can vanish. A tall person may face certain risks, but with strong health practices, those risks can be managed. In the end, the number of birthdays you see depends not only on inches or centimeters, but on choices, resilience, and circumstance. Still, the science is clear. When time stretches into the later decades of life, it is often the shorter individuals who remain standing. They may not tower in a crowd, but they often outlast it. In that sense, the answer to the question is simple. Short people, on average, live a little longer, proving that size may shape not just how you stand in the world, but how long you stay in it.